And from that point, my brain started to have things like 87 seizures a day, and the doctors were telling me they didn't know what was wrong. Why were these seizures coming from after having an anaphylactic shock? So it all started when I went down the beach to do a Wim Hof session, so cold water, ice work, and I got stung by a jellyfish, and I went into anaphylactic shock 30 k's from my town on the side of the road with my husband. And from that point, my brain started to have things like 87 seizures a day at night. It then went into PTSD and panic disorder and anxiety. And I was trying to do everything that I could possibly know what to do to try and fix myself. And the doctors were telling me they didn't know what was wrong. Why were these seizures coming from after having an anaphylactic shock? And they were saying, we just don't know what it is. So long story short, after trialling hyperbaric chamber and I couldn't get back into the ice because every time I went to get in the ice, I went into PTSD because my body thought it was the cold water that created it, not the actual jellyfish sting. Anyway, my daughter said to me, you've got to watch this video, and it was of Duncan doing his thing with the two women. Anyway, I looked at it and I went, no, that's not for me. I've got to find something like a doctor, a specialist who understands what's going on. And I went from specialist to specialist, and they're just like, we don't know what's going on. We don't know what's causing the seizures. Have you had a head injury? Well, I do full contact martial arts, but I felt like it all changed from that near-death experience. Anyway, so I went back into, Caitlin sent me again this video about 6 months later and said, you've got to look into this. And I was about at that stage where no one was listening to me, and I was on so much medication I couldn't work. I needed either my other half or my mum to be my carer at night or during the day. And I thought, this is not my life. I need to do something. So I started doing magnetic mind. Long story short, I am now seizure free on no medication, and I don't suffer from PTSD or panic disorder. I do have anxiety that floats up and down, but nowhere near as debilitating as not being able to even leave the house. So that's my story.